Good day again, YouTube. Sketchblitz Gaming here, coming to you with another video. And for this one, I was going to continue my art tutorial through Krita. And for this one, I'm considering doing the tutorial for doing the background coloring process. Let's get right into the video. So when I last left off, I had recently managed to finish drawing all the primary color layers for the Manticore. So let's try creating that next layer. So if you are following me at this point with your own art piece that you're drawing, what you first want to do is you want to go over to this area over here called timeline, and you want to, if you don't already have it, you just have to go to window, or even to, it's either window or tools, but it should have all of the options that you have for if you need to bring something over, specifically under workspace. And you would just click one of these and drag it over, I believe. And from there, you would be able to effectively lock it in place right here or anywhere else. It's all up to you. Personally, I like it to be over here because it's out of the way, but it's also visible at the same time. There's always the possibility with me that what I'm drawing might be turned into an animation, and that's why I like to keep the animation tab and window open at times. But anyway, once you get this done, all you have to do is click this plus sign that is below timeline, and I would mainly recommend locking a layer. So it's a little bit tricky, but when you first start off, what you want to do is you want to go to the plus sign. You want to click on the layer below where you want the actual layer to go, because once you click the plus sign, the new layer is going to go above that one. So I'm going to click plus here, and since we are doing the background now, it is going to go behind. So one quick look at the draft that I had drawn previously. Those are waves, so I'm going to be sure to draw and include those. But for this time, I'm going to be doing the first few sketches of the background layer. This is going to be a little bit hard because it is not going to consist of filling like normal. Rather, I'm going to be taking the airbrush, and it's a little bit hard to find the tools, but you just have to click this square with 4 squares inside and click the soft airbrush right here. And clicking on any of these colors allows you to access the color wheel. So from here, if you've done everything right, you can just go right over what you've drawn like this. Make sure that your drawing is at 100% opacity though. You would not want to start drawing and then find out that what you're doing is halfway in terms of opacity. It has happened before, and while copying and pasting it might fix it at first, it's not guaranteed to. So from here, the next thing that you would have to do is just start drawing in any fashion you'd like. And the reason that drawing with the airbrush works so well is because things are out of focus in the background and people will not be looking at that direction at first. So it's pretty beneficial, but at times it can also be pretty tricky. So you just want to make sure that you're at the right size and limit. I would not recommend going above 25 if you are drawing something specific, but let's see. So in this case, in terms of using the soft airbrush, what you want to do is you want to go to growth selection, take that up to 5, and then take the feathering radius up to 8. And that should enable you to completely fill the area that you are trying to draw in, because if you do not have the feathering radius up this far, it will... Okay, excuse me, the threshold was off there. If you do not have the feathering radius up far enough... Okay, that's peculiar. Oh, I see what I did. I want it to be the current layer, or rather... Yeah, that's good enough. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that it's at the proper radius Otherwise, when you start filling it, it will not be able to properly account for everything. So I'm going to turn off the sketch layer and get right on this. And what you want to do in this case is select all layers. And from there, it will go forth and it should easily work as long as everything is in order. So let's see, from here, I'm going to go to the color wheel, adjust this, bring this to a sky blue, readjust this to -4, and have the feathering radius to 4 so that it counteracts. And from here, I'm going to change it to 12, -7. And what that should do is it should allow me to properly get this layer drawn and sketched without an issue currently. So I now have the water for the sea that this beast is splitting when it's attacking the hero. And from here, I'm not quite going to go into developing the background as in the gray area, but rather I am going to lock the layer I just developed. And what you want to do here is you want to click new again for the layer. Just click new layer and it will show up above. And if you are drawing like I am, then you can go to the presets, and from there, well, actually, excuse me, there's one thing that you have to do beforehand, and it involves the fill feature. If you are using the soft airbrush preset, what you want to do is you want to go to the fill setting and you want to click the eraser option and reverse fill. And what doing this does is it prevents what you are drawing from seeming a little bit too far off from what you are aiming for it to be. And what I mean by that is when you start drawing with the soft airbrush, the lines can oftentimes be too thick. So sometimes it's good to just go back over and make sure that they are not. In some cases, you might have to go to the opacity setting right here and adjust it, and then repeatedly go over lines if they are at the edge and the software does not fully register where you want to fill things. But from here, all you would have to do is focus on the new layer that you were drawing, and this is the background lighting layer. It's a pretty dynamic name, but what you would like to do, or what you would have to do rather, is just take the opacity, select the brightest color that you would want the background to be at, and the size of the eraser, and just start going over that. So in this case, 19 is too high. So I'm going to take this right here. And just repeatedly click over it if you would like to shade. Let's see. The brighter the color, the more you have to make sure that the shading layer is. Let's see, bright enough to compensate. If you have a bright color, it has to be a higher opacity, is basically what I'm trying to say. So in this case, because it's pretty bright, sky blue, I have to take the opacity up to about 29 to properly get it done within a few strokes. Okay. So next, you want to go back down to your previous layer, which is locked, click new layer again, and this is the background shading layer. So you want to take the darkest color, and you can just control and left click to select. And what you want to do is just go over this and start clicking or drawing it in. And from here, you can effectively start getting the darker shades of what you'd like to develop in. This is also good for if you are doing something in the shading layer and you need to get the idea fully sketched out. Let's see, in this case, I would be picking a color such as this. Okay, that is pretty water-like. Okay, so I have the background lighting layer, which has the additional I have the background layer, the background shading layer, and the background lighting layer all finished within this one video. It honestly goes by pretty fast, but what you want to be careful of right now is to go into the background area and you want to click new layer. Make sure that each time you click a layer that you're making this square area go to the layer beside it, because that is what determines which layer you are actually drawing in. And from here, I am going to take the darkest shade of blue that is visible, or even honestly, perhaps a very dark crimson red. Depends on which one goes better with what I'm developing. And as you may have noticed there, not every time that you press fill will it automatically work. You might have to manually go back over and review it. So in this case, I'm going to be using the other feature of fill, which is to mainly go over this area and see how this works. I'll just need a moment to give this an artistic eye because this is definitely... I'm working with this as I go, basically. So let's see. Okay, so that red is not going to work. Let's fill this in. And get that area right there done. So let's see. I missed a spot. Let's get this done. Okay, right there. Got it. So I will make sure that is locked. This layer is done for the most part. Now I will go and break my own rule, basically. So when there are layers that are similar, sometimes you can combine them. I would not recommend it unless you already have decent knowledge of the software. But in this case, I'm going to start doing the background lighting layer on the background itself. Okay. So I'm going to be changing that concept from a sun to a moon. And now I am going to repeat the process. Lock, new layer, make sure that the square is right there. And I'm going to add this moon. And I'm going to make it a crimson eclipse. Hard part is actually figuring out how to effectively get this done without it. Right here. Right about 1 to 41%, 13, opacity 21. Okay, back to up to about this level. So you just want to go over this or whatever you are putting in this layer properly. Should work from there. Oh yeah, be sure to save. I'm not actually saving during the videos because, well, for the most part, I actually have a lot of stuff that I consider private in my save gallery, and it just shows up automatically, so I'm keeping that off YouTube. But let's see. So when you get a layer done like this, what you want to do is you want to go to Growth Selection, go to Feathering Radius, click the eraser, and make sure that you click all, or rather current layer. Okay, let's see, there we go. And next I will go right here and round this off. Okay, let's see. Is there any complementary colors I should add to this? Crimson clouds, for example. I could if I want to. Let's see. How well does that work? Opacity 38, size 16. Now, opacity 23. Actually, that does work. It works quite well. Okay, motorcycle in the background. I don't know why you're up at 10:16 at night, but whatever. Okay, so from here, all I have to do is erase this area right here. Okay, and for the most part, that is actually probably going to be it for this video, but this is mostly done now. It's come quite a long way, but I believe that I have finished the background layer, the foreground background. I have two background layers, honestly, but I have the lighting and shading for this one. And now the best thing that I can do is get rid of the sketching layer just by taking the eraser, taking this up to 1000 with the pencil, and let's see. Yeah, considering that about it for now. So let's see. So in my next video, I will probably be doing the foreground shading. You always want to get the background lighting done before the foreground shading, otherwise you might not be able to properly confirm the source. I did say that I don't normally save, but, well, I'm in a different folder this time, so let's see. Yeah, I think that's about it. I'm going to save twice because I really don't want this to mess up. And for now, that is about it. The only thing left for me to take care of is this small detail in the sword that's bugging me. Okay, let's see. Now that that's taken care of, I can call this the end of the video. I believe that I have covered about enough and... no, no. I'm just going to hotfix this real quick. I am not okay with the gray background still being visible under any circumstance almost. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that is mainly it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to continue working on this for a little bit, but if you liked this video or if it helped out, feel free to leave a like and subscribe for more. Let's see. In this layer, you'd be able to just erase that. Here it is. Okay, yeah, that's the end of this video, and I guess I'll see you guys later. Bye.